The Samsung S95C is as complete of a TV as you could even ask for in 2023. It has 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, it has 144Hz gaming support, and a slew of gaming features like Samsung Game Motion Plus, where you can tolerate some of the 30 frames per second releases. Right now, I don't think it's an understatement in saying that it is one of the best, if not the best, and I have put it up against other TVs. In fact, it beat most of them. And in the case of the G3, it did go blow for blow with the G3, and at times it beat the G3, and at times the G3 beat the S95C. When you're talking about connectivity with this TV, it has a One Connect box, which is a little bit different from what you're used to with your TVs. You get an external box with a wire that hangs down from your TV, and that external box will hold all of your inputs. So all of your HDMI ports will be on this box. The great thing about this is if you wall mount your TV, you'll only have one wire hanging down and not multiple HDMI cables. The power cable is actually attached to the One Connect box as well, so it's only going to be the One Connect cable that you have connected to the TV. This could be a real big benefit, but I want to caution you guys, the cable is not as long as I would have hoped. As far as the connectivity, you have 4 HDMI 2.1 ports and 144Hz gaming support. So everything that you could possibly ever want with a gaming TV is on display with the Samsung S95C. Now, when it comes down to some of the benefits that you get with the QD OLEDs from Samsung, it is definitely the color luminance. The color luminance is off the charts. When you are playing video games on this TV for the very first time, you will see the difference between color and the old TV that you used to have. Those of you coming from older TVs, if you get a QD OLED, one of the things that I think you will notice is the quantum dot technology mixed with OLED. For people that don't want to hear the technical terms, just think of the benefits that you get with the QLEDs, the color pop and the brightness. Just think of that, mixing that with what you had in the past with something like an LG OLED. Imagine combining those TVs, and what you get is the best of both worlds in the QD OLED. If you're enjoying this video so far, if you could, please consider subscribing for future content just like this. As far as smart TV options go for the S95C, it does feature quite a lot out of the box. You have the ability to stream games with Game Pass. You have most of the apps that people desire out of the box, like Disney Plus, Netflix, HBO Max. There's a ton of different apps to select from, and you also have Samsung TV Plus, which is a free TV service right out of the box. When it comes down to the remote, this year they've made it a little bit smaller than in the past, and I do like it. It's very lightweight and easy to control. I'm actually a really big fan of the Samsung remote. I just wish it had one thing, an input button. I don't know, maybe you could add it one year, Samsung. Just saying. That is one of the more frustrating experiences about the S95C, is you have to go to the home menu, scroll over, go to connected devices in order to switch your input. It's a little bit frustrating. You can also put shortcuts on your home screen, but the fact is you have to go to the home screen in order to switch your inputs. I would have just loved a dedicated input button. When it comes down to the sound performance of this TV, it's pretty good. There is really good clarity when it comes to the dialogue, but those of you that might have heard the S95B last year might be disappointed to know that the sound that you got from the bass just isn't there with the S95C. So if you want a good bass experience out of the S95C, you're probably going to want to pair it with one of Samsung's soundbars that has a subwoofer in it, so you could take advantage of the Q Symphony. Of course, you could use any types of soundbars with this TV, but I highly do recommend adding just something that has a subwoofer just so you can get a little bit more bass out of it, because it does feel to be lacking on that department. When it comes to the color performance of this TV, it's pretty great. I gotta say, out of the box, the skin tones look very natural. I'm not somebody that judges accuracy, but if you have it in the filmmaker mode, I doubt many people will really have complaints about the way this looks. New for this year, you have the HDR Tone Mapping selection, where you can select between static and active HDR tone mapping. This is going to give you a very similar dynamic tone mapping effect that you're used to with Samsung, and then also you have the ability to turn it off this year if you want a more accurate look, much like the S95B of last year in filmmaker and movie mode. To me, I feel like I am definitely getting the creator's intent in filmmaker mode. And for those of you that want a little bit more punch, you do have movie mode, which operates quite similarly to filmmaker mode, but it does have that extra punch because it is using the active tone mapping by default. So filmmaker mode is going to use static tone mapping, and your movie mode is going to use active tone mapping. If you are a little bit confused on what these do, I do have a video breaking down these things. It's hard to complain about the versatility of this TV. I don't think that there's any TV on the market that does gaming as well as the S95C. So when you get into the gaming benefits of this TV, not only are you getting the benefits of QD OLED technology, but you're also getting a really good settings menu where you have complete flexibility of how you want to set up your TV. Whether you want to have it in a more accurate looking mode or you want the punchiest picture possible, you can dial those things in with the S95C in game mode. One of the greatest things about the game mode with the S95C, in my opinion, is the extra features that they throw in that many other TVs don't have, like game motion. Plus, you also have the ability to add crosshairs onto the screen this year for some of the FPS games that you might be playing. There's also really cool options like the Samsung Mini Map Zoom and other features built into the game optimizer. The game bar is really cool. You have an FPS counter and the ability to see if VRR is toggled on or off. You also have shortcuts to select different game genres, and you can make your own presets based on these genres. So how does the TV stack up against all the other TVs that are available? Well, I do personally think that if it's not the best TV, it's definitely the second best TV. And depending on how you look at it, it's hard to argue with that. Now, from a gamer's point of view, it's definitely the best gaming TV that I personally could recommend anybody right now. So when I stacked the TV up against the G3, it held its own quite well. The only area that the G3 beat the S95C in was picture pop. It wasn't a huge win by the G3, but it could get brighter than the S95C in certain areas. Only with the white highlights though. I want to make sure I specify that, because when it comes to color brightness, the S95C is definitely the king. So how does this stack up with the S95B? Is it a big upgrade over the S95B? I wouldn't say it's the largest upgrade over the S95B, but it is an upgrade over the S95B. You have more functionality, and the colors, skin tones, it all looks better out of the box. Unless you're upgrading your size, it's hard to give you a reason to want to upgrade to the S95C if you're an S95B owner. If you're coming from an older OLED, you're definitely going to notice the jump from the QD OLED. There's better colors and better brightness out of the QD OLEDs than the past OLEDs that you might have been used to. It's crazy to me how close this is to an LCD TV in overall brightness, and in fact it actually outdueled the QN90C in a lot of scenes. I believe it is an amazing TV, and I think that anybody who gets their hands on it will absolutely love this TV. It really is a great piece of technology. The S95C is a step up from the S95B last year, and it won't disappoint people out of the box, as it does have amazing picture quality for people that are accuracy purists and for people who love picture pop. It does everything, and it's no shock that most of the reviewers who've gotten their hands on this have loved it, and they have nothing but glowing things to say about it. And that makes sense. It's a really great TV. And what I think, when you see these TVs for yourself, it is something to behold, because it will be one of those breathtaking moments where you see something for the first time. You will feel it. S95C is bright, colorful, and it perhaps has one of the best game modes on the market right now. So what's not to love about it? Let me know in the comments below. Do you guys like the S95C, and is it something that you'll be targeting this year? If you're curious to see how the S95C does against other TVs, I have comparisons with the S95C against other top TVs right here and right here. Thank you guys for watching.